We are cooking with Crisco now, baby. Oh God, this is man. They talk about getting your panties up in a bunch, man. Let me tell you something. I am pissed off this morning. Let's do this. All right, folks. Let me tell you, Sister Sarah is working overtime. For those of you that are new to the audience that haven't been here before, let me introduce you to Sarah. The folks that are regular viewers know who Sarah is. We had a conversation a while back, and what I do here, it's about getting the message out. You and I talking is the whole reason I do this. Because, folks, when it comes to politics and political warfare, I know a thing or two. I warned you about Sarah. I told you. Putin's weaponized, exactly. Hashtag Sarah. Exactly, Glenn. Thank you. Putin's weaponized immigration is one of the only things the Republicans have. That's it. They have no policies. They've got nothing. The economy is fantastic. The jobs market is fantastic. Inflation is down to 2.5%. They're cutting interest. Jerome Powell has already said, yeah, we're cutting interest rates. We're cutting interest rates. This is the interest, it's just one thing after. They've got nothing to run on. So I told you, what are they going to do? They're going to run to the bigotry. They're going to run to the bigots. And that's exactly what they did. So I created this AI image here. This is Sarah. She's not a real person. She's an AI image. She is our representation of the immigrant crime that is going to be spoon-fed to the bigots. And I intentionally picked a pretty blonde-haired, blue-eyed, young college age, exactly. This is Sarah. Well, this is Sarah at work. Let me introduce you to a douchebag named Mike Kaufman. Mike Kaufman is the mayor of Aurora, Colorado. And if you listen, if you're on social media right now, this is all they're talking about on the right wing. This is it. And I told you, this is what they would do. Aurora, Colorado, according to right-wingers, has an entire apartment complex that has been taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and they've got snipers on the roof. They've got, it's just insane. And where it all comes from is this video. You see the still shot on the left? That's from a video. I explained to you the best lies have a kernel of truth. And if you want to know what Mike Kaufman's motivation is, Mike Kaufman and Trump go way, way, way back. Yeah, Trump endorsed Mike Kaufman when he got his ass beat in the last election and got driven out of Congress. Now he's the mayor of Aurora, Colorado. It's like they're cockroaches. They just never go fricking away. But yeah, Trump and Kaufman go way back. Trump is in trouble. Putin, I told you what Putin was going to do. What did I tell you Putin was going to do? I said, right in time, right for it to hit mid-October, Putin was going to take, coordinate it out of the Mexican embassy, the Russian embassy down in Mexico City. They were going to coordinate another caravan to come out of Venezuela. Boom, there it is. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. There it is, the new migrant caravan. This story out of Colorado is designed to prime the pump. It's designed to prime the pump. And let me explain. What they're saying is happening at this apartment complex, and it is whole cloth, made up crap, complete crap. What they're saying is happening in this apartment complex, and they're not original. They're not original. What they're saying is happening in this apartment complex is the plot of New Jack City, the 1991 movie New Jack City. They're claiming that a drug gang has taken over this apartment complex, and it's a hellscape, and the people that are living there are terrified, and it's just all, no, that is not what is happening. What is happening is that you've got Mike Kaufman going on Fox News, and Fox News is just running with this in a loop because Trump's in trouble, man. They have to do something. They're running with this in a loop. Colorado mayor speaks out after video of armed Venezuelan gang in apartment complex goes viral. I told you folks, the best lies always have a kernel of truth. Always. Now, this is a community. We talk. This is your time to participate. We have an international audience. And do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get as many people in there as we can, in here as we can, because people need to hear this. People really need to hear this. Our European audience especially, I want a response for you. Just name cities near where you're at. American, Canadian, Dutch, you name it. Name cities where you're at. Going to make a point here about Aurora, Colorado. Damn, forgot to get a cup of coffee where I came in. There we go. Copenhagen. We're going to go through this. In Copenhagen, Danny, in Copenhagen, if you go and talk to your police and you ask them, hey, where is that apartment complex that's a problem for you guys? They'll immediately rattle off the name of an apartment complex. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, probably has a couple. Boston, Massachusetts, definitely has a couple. You know this. You live in DL. You live in or near Boston or in Cambridge. You know there are neighborhoods that tend to be poor neighborhoods. Toronto, Manhattan, New York, Memphis, Tennessee, Munich, Germany, baby. In Munich, Germany, there is a neighborhood. It is a working class neighborhood. It has an apartment complex that is not the nicest apartment complex you've ever seen. Poor folks live there. Gangs flourished there. That is in every city on the face of the planet. Period. That is part of humanity. Why? Because we do drugs. We do drugs, and drugs are illegal. We have a very, 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 very stupid drug policy. So you will get people living in these apartment complexes that make their living off of drugs. They do. And when that happens, it's a high cash business. It is a business that violence follows, largely in part because of our policies towards drugs. I mean, did we learn nothing from Prohibition? I mean, really, did we learn nothing from Prohibition? But yes, this apartment complex that's in Aurora, Colorado exists in every city in the world. And what we saw in that video was real gang activity. Was it a collection? We don't know. Was it somebody that didn't pay their drug debt and got a visit? We don't know. We don't know. Was it somebody that was a snitch that the gang was attacking? We don't know. We don't know what that was. All we know is that we have a video, a peephole video of a group of armed gang members going up and breaking into an apartment. That's it. That's all we know. What we do know is, for a fact, 100%, that apartment complex is not New Jack City. How do we know that? Because the Aurora PD took this seriously. When Mike Kaufman ran to Fox News and started talking crap, the interim police chief, who has, pardon the expression, no fucks to give, took her police force down there as an army, sealed that apartment complex off, and they went door to door to door to door to door and talked to every single resident of that apartment complex. And no, the Venezuelans do not run that apartment complex. They do not. What is going on? Putin's militarized immigration. That's what's going on. It's the same thing that Greg Abbott does down here in the border. Mike Kaufman is pushing the narrative for Donald Trump. He's also doing it for a secondary reason. Let me introduce you to, this is the interim chief, Heather Moore. She has no care in the world. She has no skin in the game. She is interim. She is leaving this job in a couple of weeks. She went down there and just kicked ass and took names. No, the Venezuelans do not own this apartment complex. It is not New Jack City. There are not snipers in the roof. Yes, there was some gang activity, but not what you're hearing the narrative run all over. If you listen to right-wing social media right now, they really, really are running with this 100%. And it's gotten even more ridiculous. But Heather Morris, like I said, does not have a care in the world. All she's caring about is serving the people of Aurora, Colorado. Went down, straightened this out. Why did this happen? This is Todd Chamberlain. He is the new police chief of police that's going to come in a couple of weeks, that is picked by the right-wing Republican machine. He's going to walk into a job and he's going to say, I'm going to take our streets back from a threat that doesn't exist. And he's going to talk about defeating this crisis that doesn't exist. And in a couple of weeks, when there is no crisis, he's going to pull a Trump and he's going to say, it was me. And Mike Kaufman's going to say, it was me. I made the bad guys go away. It was me. And that is really, really what this is all about. That's it. The problem is it's a Frankenstein's monster that's gotten out of control. They're really just blowing this up. The misinformation machine on the right has come up with all of their own narratives. And the big narrative is the great national heroes, the Hells Angels. The Hells Angels, and this is where it exposes the bigotry, folks. This is where it exposes the racism and the BS behind this. Okay, let me start by telling you this. No, the Hells Angels are not headed to Aurora, Colorado to confront the Venezuelan gangs and take these apartments back for American drug dealers. No, that is not happening. And the Hells Angels are nobody's hero. But yes, they have spun this narrative all over all the Juanita Broderick. Y'all know Juanita Broderick. She's a huge pusher of all the right wing, influencers have been spinning this garbage that the Hells Angels are on their way to save Aurora, Colorado, because we Democrats can't do it. We Democrats are causing the hellscape in Aurora, Colorado, and the patriotic Hells Angels are going to go down there and they're going to straighten this out and they're going to make sure that that apartment complex is safe for American drug gangs. I shit you not, people. I shit you. And the reason the Hells Angels are their heroes is because they're fucking bigots. And the Hells Angels is closely allied with white supremacy. And yeah, they're a motorcycle club. That's who they are. They call themselves 1%ers. They tell you up front they're criminals. The Hells Angels will tell you we're the bad guys. In the narrative, we're the bad guys. Samita, I really appreciate all your support. You're here regularly. I am truly grateful for all your support. My fellow Texans, vote for Colin Allred so Cruz loses. When we vote for democracy, everyone wins. Yes, absolutely. And we're going to get to that part of the message here in just a minute. And Mark, I appreciate you. You're always here supporting the show, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. But yeah, it's grown out of their control. Now, the right-wing movement is cheering the Hells Angels. These are the same people that turned on the Constitution. These are the same people that turned on our military, on our generals. These are the same people that turn on our veterans. These are the same people that claim to be freaking patriots and this, that, until Donald Trump absolutely desecrates the hollow ground of Arlington National Cemetery, and then all of a sudden, they don't care. They don't care. These are the same people that we can't have an old president. Can't have an old president. He's got to be strong and young. And then when their candidate is the only old president in the race, they don't care. They don't care. Folks, motorcycle clubs are a big part of the problem. They're the people that sell the drugs that head south, the Iron River. We've talked about the Iron River of guns. The guns that are in Mexico don't come from Mexico. They come from the United States. They're sold southward through organizations like motorcycle clubs. That's who sends the guns south. It's also the people that mule the drugs north. No, this Venezuelan gang, the reason they suck is because they're not professionals. They're a kiddie gang. They're young people, which makes them dangerous. It makes them, don't get me wrong, they're dangerous as hell because they're stupid as hell. But they're not professionals. The drug dealers in Mexico, the cartels that everybody keeps telling you, they're professionals. And you know what the cartels don't do? Mule drugs into the United States. They really don't. It's American drug organizations that go to Mexico, buy the drugs, and mule them back across. That's homegrown, baby. We're doing it because we've got the stupidest drug policy on the face of the planet. And these people apparently learned absolutely nothing from Prohibition. This is why I tell people, past is prologue. Learn history. Learn history. We have done all over again with narcotics and drugs what we did with alcohol when we created the mafia in the first place. Sandy Duncan says, I so appreciate your truth. You're keeping me sane in Texas. That's my job. Us talking is what this is all about. Sharon Reddy, happy 1st of the month. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. We are officially, thanks for reminding us, Sharon. I had been waiting for this. We are officially in a burr month. We are. We're just a couple weeks away from the official start of fall. This next week here in Texas is going to be in the 80s. The 80s. Oh my God. It's going to be in the 80s. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Brendan, so when the news turns pandering, it's no longer news, it's pandering, and no longer news. It is all about, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Hell's Angels are out of Putin's playbook. He has a motorcycle gang too. Yes, Russia is a terrorist state. They use criminal organizations. They use terrorist organizations. It is 100% absolutely. Speak to our European folks. This is why I love that you are so willing to be in our chat and have conversations. Talk to our folks in Europe. They face this weaponized immigration also. This is nothing new. Putin does this. This is what he does. Every right-wing party and coalition in Europe pushes the same weaponized immigration crap while they ignore major important issues. I love doing it. I love being here. Thank you for allowing me to do it. But yeah, folks, that's what I wanted you to know. What you're about to see, is Sister Sarah has gone to work 100%. It is fake, made up crap. They are 100% just pushing this narrative that is literally the plot of New Jack City, and they're running with it because they've got nothing. Trump's in trouble, and they really feel like this is something they can coalesce around. You can actually feel how excited they are for the bigotry. I mean, you can actually feel their excitement has ginned up over this, and how excited they are when they talk about the Hell's Angels going to go down there and run them Venezuelans off. We're going to get good American gangster boys that are going to go down there and they're going to run them foreigner gangsters off. It's hilarious. It would be hilarious. Let me say that. It would be hilarious if it wasn't so damn sad and so damn predictable. Folks, that's why I came up with Sarah. That's why I came up with Sarah. And this is a political op. I just want to just remind you one more time, some new people came in. This is a political op designed to prime the pump for their October caravan splash. Fox is primed and ready to run with this. This is all they exactly. It's all they have. It's all they have. And yeah, again, they're going to say, you can't fake video. You can see. Well, you see something. Like I said, every great lie starts with a kernel of truth. You see something. You see some guys walking around with AR-15s, and yes, they've been confirmed to be Venezuelan drug members. That is true. But if you put that same weapon in Bubba's hands and he's walking through Walmart, that's freedom! These people are just broken. They're just broken. Release the blue Kraken by voting blue up and down the ballot. Yes, Sherry, absolutely, 100%. Good morning, all. Vote blue no matter who, and that's where we're going with this. That is where we're going with this. You bring sanity to my day. That's my job. That's my job, to tell it the way it is. When it's bad, I'll tell you it's bad. When it's good, I'll tell you it's good. When they're full of shit, I'll tell you they're full of shit. Vacay, good for you. Good for you. Glad to hear it. Vacay in Vegas with 4 ladies. Nice. Jennifer says, can we get a shout out to Tricia Calabrese taking on Christian nationalist Lauren Boebert? Absolutely. Absolutely. I got to tell you folks, this is what it's about. And this is what I want to wrap this up with. You cannot take your foot off the gas. Yep, they're going to get excited about this. They are. They're going to try to throw it in your face and say, look, you did this. You did this. You attacked poor Sarah. Don't let it slow you down. Ignore it. Don't argue with them. Don't. They've been waiting desperately for this. That's what their excitement's all about. They have been waiting desperately for some bad news, man. And you're not going to take it away from them. You're not. You can point out that we don't actually know what's going on in that video. We don't know the extent of it. We do know the extent of it. We do know that it is not what they're portraying it to be. But that won't matter to them. Because all you're going to hear for weeks now is Aurora, 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 Aurora. Because truth don't matter to cults. Their narrative matters. And they've been given a narrative that fits their bigotry. It fits their bigotry so well, they're actually jumping in. Political musings with Amy Sarah is also a Swiftie for Trump. Yeah, you know, look, I got to tell you, folks, there's no good response to this from our side. Next question. That's the best response. Because like I said, you'll never take this narrative from them. They want it badly. It doesn't matter that it's the plot of a 1991 B movie. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the interim chief of police went down there and proved it to be completely false. It doesn't matter that the Hells Angels aren't really going to Aurora, Colorado. None of that matters. What matters is they got told something that feeds their fear and feeds their bigotry, and you will never pry that from their fingers. You know, they say from my cold dead hands. Yeah, that's what it would take to pry that narrative from them. And we don't care enough to do that. We don't. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep it being excited. We are in September, folks. September. I am telling you, fall is here. I am a pumpkin spice fanatic. I am. Pumpkin pie, buttermilk pie, sweet potato pie. I love all the custard pies. I do. I support Gloria Johnson in Tennessee. Thank you, folks, for making these shout outs. Thank you very much for making all these shout outs. Gloria Johnson's fighting her ass off in Tennessee against Marsha Blackburn. Yes, support her. She has got a real uphill fight there because there's a lot of bigots in Tennessee, just like there are here in Texas, and they vote. That's what we have to do. That's where I'm going with this. Folks, it is a great time of year. Things look wonderful. The economy looks wonderful. 2.5%. We're back to the low end of normal inflation. If it gets much lower, they're going to have a stimulus. Yeah. This is going to be the first Democratic president in modern times. Kamala Harris, I think what she's going to be able to do. That's what scares the hell out of the billionaire frat boy club. Think about what she's going to be able to do. She's going to be the first Democratic president in the modern era that is not going to have a rescue plan to fix the crisis the Republican administration before them created. Think about that. We're going into the holidays in a roaring economy. It's going to be great. This is going to be the best Christmas ever. Ever. But I do have to warn you about a couple things. I do. I've got to warn you about a couple things. Linda, I know some of your donations are slipping by, and I'm sorry. I like to say thank you for all of them. I'm sorry some of them are slipping by. I do apologize. But man, y'all are just knocking it out of the park. I appreciate you keeping me going, man. You're getting by faster than I can get to them. Man, I hope your coffee's better than mine, and mine's damn good. Oh my God, Linda. On the Now and Then video released by remaining Beatles, Ringo and Paul, AI brought John and George back to life. Anything is possible. Yeah. This is coming too. Thanks for bringing this up. Short side note, folks. You know, there are thousands of scams out there that pretend to be me. Just thousands of scam accounts that pretend to be me. Don't worry. She's fine. She's fine. My producer Dolly Parton has joined the conversation. So watch out for Kitty. No telling where she's going to come from. But yeah, there are fakes out there. They have just released an AI program that can literally do what I'm doing now. They can feed it 15 minutes to a half hour of one of my shows, and they can AI generate me in my voice anywhere they want, saying whatever the hell they program it to say, and it'll do it live. It'll do it live. So yeah, that's freaking terrifying. That is freaking terrifying. We're going to have to get really tight with each other so that you know where to find me. You're going to have to know where to find me. We're going to have to come up with like reality checks in the chat. Hey, Paul, unbutton your third button. Okay. But that is really happening, folks. Aaron Marshall, thank you for the support. Yeah, let's make Comer Pyle unemployed. Absolutely. But look, it's an amazing time. It is an amazing time. It's going to be a fantastic season. It just is. The economy is great. You're doing great. I'm doing great. Blink twice. Okay. But yeah, folks, it's going to get even better. Think about that. Think about the holidays with Tim Walz. Think about the holidays with Kamala Harris and her family. How cool that's going to be. That's going to be freaking great, man. But this is life. And life really has problems. And there is bad news brewing. And I wouldn't call it bad news as much as it is not exciting news and somewhat scary news. The war, and I like to call things early. I'll stick my neck out there when I see things that are happening, and I can say, yeah, that's happening. The war in Ukraine is about to escalate. And it's going to escalate hard. It really is. Let me explain why. Oh. And pay attention, because this is the only time I'm going to talk about this before the election, because I don't want to feed the Republicans ammunition. We have talked about the Kursk offensive and how it's doing, what's going on. This is actually a pretty good source. It's called the Institute of War Studies. Let me share their website so that you can see what I'm talking about. They just gave their latest assessments based on actual satellite imagery. Everybody makes claims in war. They take a look at who actually has troops where, who actually owns what, and what's going on. They don't give a dire assessment. So let me stop right there. This is the incursion into Kursk. And they're saying, okay, look, this is really what Ukraine holds. They've got it and they're keeping it. The Ukrainians have done an amazing job of destroying bridges. They've done an amazing job of destroying the pontoon bridges that the Russians have tried to rebuild so that they can move men and material into the region. The reason they've done that, and it's been such a priority for them, and they've risked planes, they've risked everything to make sure these bridges stay destroyed, is General Mud is coming. We've talked about this before. We've talked about spring and fall in this region. This particular type of soil, yes, it's very fertile, but it holds water insanely. And the roads and the bridges, the roads and the fields become completely impassable. Even the roads, because this is not an area where these roads are built on rock base. They're not. And once the rains start, and we're talking mid-October, the rains will start 6 weeks from now. General mud will be on the field. Moving men and supplies will become impossible until December. It will. It will just become impossible until December and the ground freezes. It's a mess. So what's going on now? You've heard news reports that the Russians have not moved troops in to retake Kursk. This is why. This is why. Let me scroll down to the southern area down where they're talking about Avdiivka, and the maps here are fantastic. This is the region around Avdiivka. You remember the Russians took Avdiivka. They have had a kind of bulge happening in that region, and they've had some success, and they're moving eastward, and they've got a specific target that they have to take before General Mudd takes the field. And this is what we're talking about. Let's go to the map. I want you to see this. All right. Here's Avdiivka in red. Remember all those, Volodymyr Zelensky went to Avdiivka. The Ukrainians fought so bravely. Well, that's not where the lines are anymore. See, this is Avdiivka. The Russians and the Ukrainians are fighting in Selidov this morning. They're fighting over here in Selidov. They're pushing eastward, and they're about to make a northern swing because before General Mudd takes the field, the Russians must hold Pokrovsk. And this fighting is going to be bad, folks, because the Ukrainians know they cannot let this go. They can't. If they let Pokrovsk go, this can cost them a year. And the Russians know it. And this is what's so important about it. Okay? See Bakhmut here? Bakhmut? This is the front line right here by Bakhmut, and you see Kramatorsk here. This is the front line. It slices right by Bakhmut. I hope you can see my cursor moving. This is the front line. General Mudd takes the field. These highways are all that's left for moving men and supplies. That's it. That are airdrops, and that's incredibly difficult for a country like Ukraine. They're not us. They don't have we spend that money on our military to have capabilities that other nations don't have. So yeah, this is going to be rough, to say the least. And the news coming out of Ukraine isn't going to be all cherry pie and sunflowers. It isn't. This is going to be tough fighting. And if the Russians are successful and the Russians take Pokrovsk, what happens next? Long term down the road, what happens next? That leads to a dramatic escalation in Ukraine. It does. Because the Russians don't give a damn about their people. They will starve them. They will send them to die by the millions. And they don't care. They never have. Read a history book. Read a history book. Blam girl, can we help them? Yeah, and we're going to. And that's what I mean. And this is why I'm saying why we have to keep our foot on the gas and why the stakes are so freaking high. The only thing that reverses this, because Ukraine does not have the men to do this forever. They just don't. Ukraine's time limit runs out before the Russians do, because the Russians is just a larger country. They have more people, and they have a willingness to let their people die. Strategically, Ukraine is fighting this war fantastically. They are hurting. Like I said, Ukraine holding that much territory in Kursk Oblast is going to decimate their sugar production next year. They're hurting the oligarchs. They're messing with the money. The oil refineries, they're fighting this war specifically to kill Putin. They can't kill them themselves directly, but there are oligarchs in Russia that can and will. But in the meantime, this is really the balance. Can the Ukrainians hold on? And yes, absolutely, their drone game is on point. It is. Where do you think that AI system that controls all those drones came from? That's Maven, baby. That's our super secret AI. Google it sometime. You'll be really fascinated. Our taxes, we don't have nationalized healthcare in this country because we've got Maven. I don't mean to laugh, but it's just, if you don't laugh, you cry. The capabilities that we are giving the Ukrainians is going to escalate dramatically. And ask the Europeans in the audience. They're not going to let Ukraine fail. But by the end of this winter, it will become very clear that the level of support that we've given Ukraine, and the Europeans have done more than we have, is not enough. It's not enough. And we're letting too many Ukrainian men die. We just are. So yeah, this election is important. It is important. It's important for the world. It is. This election means, do we keep this Russia in check? Do we do what we need to do? Kirk Stromberg says, this is exactly why we do not elect a person that will pull out of NATO and compliment dictators. The entire European Union is terrified of Trump. Exactly. I love that you people, I brag about it. I was on with Tennessee Brando the other day, bragging on you folks, how I will be talking about something and you're like 2 minutes ahead of the conversation, having your own conversation, not the same conversation, a parallel conversation. I love you people for being who you are. I swear to God, I love you people for being who you are. ET says life does get in the way. So have a plan to get out your vote. It is less than 10 weeks until the general election. Make sure of your voter registration deadlines. Florida is October 7th. Make sure of when your early voting starts and stops. ET, thank you for such tremendous support. Every show, ET is here, putting it out there for you folks. Don't make his work in vain. Check your voter registration, folks. Every show he is here. And you know, man, money's not easy to come by for anybody. I don't care how well you're doing. Do it. Gail Brownell says, don't assume all older people are on social media. Tell them about Project 2025. I sent a book to my own mother. She had no idea. Thank you, Gail. Thank you. That's why we do this. Thanks for the support, James. That's why we do this. That's why we talk about this, so that you can talk to other people about it. I can't reach everybody. I wish I could. Hit the thumbs up button. We'll get as many people as possible. We got 2,500 people, 2,600 people in here live right now. That's bigger than Trump's pulling at his rallies, folks. We're doing good. We're doing good work. But you got to talk to people, man. You've got to really tell people. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you a heads up. When the news is good, I tell you. When the news is bad, I tell you the way it is. But, yeah, you can't take your feet off the gas. You just can't take your feet off the gas. And you can't because of this. I mean, this is Trump talking to Moms for Liberty. You know, it's just they're going all out on the bigotry. And listen to what this man says.
What's happening to our country is being poisoned, and your schools and your children are suffering greatly because they're going into the classrooms, they're taking the seats, and they don't even speak English. It's crazy. And we have our people that aren't going into a classroom. We have students that were there last year that aren't allowed into the school this year. They're not allowed. It's crazy what's happening to our country.
There's no one that is being forced out by an immigrant. Nowhere. It's not happening. It's not happening. In that same speech, he said they're bringing diseases. They're not even hiding it, folks. Between the Hells Angels, the white supremacist motorcycle gang is going to come save us, and just what they openly talk about in their rallies, they're 100% running to the bigotry. They are 100%. Be scared of them. Be scared of them brown people. Just be. It's disgusting, and this is who they are. This is Moms for Liberty, the people that were sponsoring the group. This is them posing with the Proud Boys, a white supremacist organization, given the white power sign. That's what that means. The three fingers up make a W, and the fingers in the OK thing make a P, white power. That's what that means. They're not even hiding it, man. They're not even hiding it. Not in the slightest. And these are not good people. These are not good people. This is, all year long, it's been one thing after another, with these Moms for Liberty people. Moms for Liberty, one of the leaders of the Moms for Liberty, busted shoplifting in Tennessee. That's who these people are, man. These are not good people. Here's another one. Entitled, spoiled human beings. Her 17-year-old was going to have a party, damn it. She ended up assaulting someone. Clarice Schillinger, Moms for Liberty, Pennsylvania, handing out booze to 17-year-olds. Gets busted, assaults somebody. And of course, there is story after story after story. I've done several of them here on the show. I'm not going to go rehash all of them, but the founder of Moms for Liberty. Yeah, I see y'all talking about it in the chat already. The Zieglers, Bridget Ziegler, with her great patron. Her husband, Christian, ran the Republican Party in Florida. Here's Bridget Ziegler with Ron DeSantis, their great patron. These two, he's charged with assault. It turns out that they're like frigga-diggy into threesomes. He goes and trolls bars. It's been reported that he goes and trolls bars, and the chat conversations that they have are just out there. I mean, out there. Total freaks. That's your Moms for Liberty, folks. White power, criminals, DUIs. But you know what? When I tell you keep your foot on the gas, it works. It works. It does. It works. You did it. You understood the assignment. You decimated them in their home state of Florida. Wiped them off of school boards. In this last election, ask ET, man. Y'all did great work. Y'all did great work. They got their asses handed to them, got kicked off of school board after school board, off of, one right after the other, after the other, after the other. So yeah, it's not all negative. It's not all negative. It isn't. But they're not going away. It's like old Mike Kaufman in Aurora. We ran him out of Congress. Thought we did some good work there. What did he do? He showed up like a goddamn cockroach in Aurora as mayor of Aurora. Push it, pimping Putin's weaponized immigration. They're like freaking cockroaches, man. We cannot take our foot off the gas. We just cannot do it. Sally S., thank you for the support. And thank you for the amazing support today, guys. Really, you literally helped me do this. And we've gotten to the point now, I just wanted a little inside baseball. You know, I said we're going to take this gun cabinet out of here, do some redecorating. I am hating the internet, the infrastructure here. It's insane. We finally, I'm back on a 5G network. I don't know if you noticed the pixelation and stuff's been far less this show. Finally back on a 5G network after Hurricane Beryl. Took that long. Remember Hurricane Beryl? Seems like a lifetime ago. They finally fixed the 5G network out here in Texas. So yeah, we're thinking about, if things keep growing the way they're growing, getting some office space in town and setting up a studio there, doing the show. And when I say in town, it's just a little hick town right up the road, but they have more reliable service, faster service. I can get cable internet there. We're thinking about doing it. We really are. We're thinking about doing it. It's almost economically feasible now because you people do such an incredible job. I'm not pissing your money away, folks. I'm a tightwad. Oh my God, you have no idea what a tightwad I am. I am rat holing that money as tight as I can so that we could do good things in the future. But Sally, thank you. Senate lineup dream team, all red in Texas, Gallego in Arizona. Have y'all seen? Just thank you for keep this up. Don't take this down. Have y'all seen what Gallego's doing in Arizona? He's up like 15 freaking points on Leatherface, Carrie Lake. You know, Mrs. Vaseline filter, nutty Carrie Lake. Gallegos took her to the woodshed and she didn't come back. I mean, it is great. It is great what Ruben Gallegos is doing in Arizona. But hey, Hillary Clinton was kicking ass too. We cannot let our foot off the gas. You got Rosen in Nevada, Tester in Wyoming. I told you, leave that up, please. She had a good list there. Tester in Montana, Slotkin in Michigan, Sherrod Brown in Ohio, Baldwin in Wisconsin, Casey in Pennsylvania. Bob Casey normally has the fight of his life every 6 years when he has to go for re-election. Normally he's got to really fight it out. He is up by a good solid like 6 points, and I mean in the good polls, not the lousy network polls. I mean he's up like 6 points. He's doing really well. We cannot let our foot off the gas. You got Johnson in Tennessee, Kuntz in Missouri. Yeah, Josh Hawley is in a fight. This isn't. That's good. You can take it down. But folks, the donations, the volunteering, especially, all that's got to happen now. Exactly. Stay tight. Stay tight. Keep your foot on the gas, baby. We have such a beautiful season coming, but we got to fight for it. We do. We've got to fight for it. John Tester's campaign really needs the help. He's in a slugfest up there, man. He is in a toe-to-toe slugfest up there. Volunteers, donations, and they have to happen now. I mean, volunteer donations are good 5 days out from the election. They are. Why? Because a lot of these campaigns are going to be in tight races. They're going to need lawyers to bat down the craziness because, the Republicans are going to sue everybody after this election. So, donations 5 days before are great. They are. But donations now can really be put to work on ads. They can really be put to work. Training's not free. It's not. Your volunteering is free, but the professionals that run everything, that do the training, that set up the infrastructure and the systems to make it easy and convenient for you, that's not free. Those are professionals. They do this for a living. So yeah, you folks are killing it. You're really killing it. Hats off. Thank you for doing such an amazing job. I want you to take a look at this. This is what I'm going to wrap up with. This is how bad these people are on the right, at life, at everything. Listen to what this guy says, and we'll come back and talk about why it's important.
To talk to you guys about something a little bit different, I do have to start by mentioning communists, because as you know, since many of you have listened to me for a long time, there's an old saying that fits with communists, that is, communists share your vocabulary, but they do not use your dictionary. So you're used to this idea that they use words differently than you do, or normal people do in general. And of course, they do this to normal sounding words that, no smart person would pause and say, well, what do you mean by diversity? Everybody knows what that means, right? And you think I'm about to go through the diversity, equity, inclusion shtick, but I'm actually going to give you a couple of different words, 3 different words that are more to the moment, like brat. Right? She's so brat. She's so brat. Isn't that fun? She's so brat. What does that mean? I'm not going to do this whole shtick about words at length, but what that means is she doesn't take any instructions from anybody that's going to tell her how she has to do things. She's so brat. She's like a bratty teenage girl who's not listening to dad, who's totally separate from, whatever person she was tethered to as vice president, maybe. She's so brat. And everything right now is so demure. You've seen demure? It's so demure. What does that even mean? Well, here's one of the purposes of using the word demure, but it's not the main purpose. It's
Folks, when I went to school, yeah, you have to forgive me. I keep muting it because I get so many complaints about the drinking coffee. I mute it and forget I muted it. Be patient with me. I make that mistake every once in a while. But yeah, this guy talking about brat and demure and not knowing what the hell he's talking about. First of all, when I went to school, it was pronounced demure, not demur, demure. I don't know. Am I wrong in that? Were y'all? I mean, to me, it was demure. Okay. He has no idea what he's talking about. He has no idea what he's talking about. Brat does not mean what he says it means. No, it's a positive expression. It's not about, going against the rules and, all that. That's not what brat means. No, it is not what brat means. Brat means basically, just to, the best way I can sum it up is, if you're old like me and you lived through the grunge movement, remember the grunge movement? Brat means kind of the same thing the grunge movement did. Like, we're not going to conform to your norms. We're going to live our life. But imagine if the grunge movement, if they had like taken showers and cut their hair and wore nicer clothes. That's what brat means. It's the same feeling, it's not negative. It's not, we're just not going to conform to your expectations. And that's what brat does not mean spoiled child in this context. That's where it originally comes from, but that is not what brat means. Yeah. That's what it originally means, but it actually comes from a British singer, coined the phrase. And what they're really losing their mind about with this whole brat and demure thing is they coined the phrase that Kamala Harris is brat, which means that she is forging her own path, that she's polished, that she's accomplished, that she's, it's exact. That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it, Haley. Great way to put it. Mind your own damn business. That's what brat means. It's positive. It's not negative like they're talking about. And the whole demure thing is some hidden thing where, women they're pretending to be nice and hiding it for a while because they know after the election, they're going to not be nice. No, man. No. The young woman, the last name of LeBron, not related to LeBron, but her last name was LeBron, did a video talking about getting ready for work. And this was the audio. I'm going to play this audio is dubbed over Kamala Harris. And the whole demure thing is basically means screw with women at your peril. Not only are we fierce, not only are we getting shit done, but we look good too. So they've made this whole sarcastic, mindful and demure trend on social media. And the right-wingers don't get it. All they know is that it keeps getting applied to Kamala Harris and people really like it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This one's just going wild.
See how I come to work? Very demure. I don't wear too much makeup. I don't come showing up with wing liner and lashes. I do a little hair oil on the wig. I do a little tinted moisturizer. I do a little brow gel. Very considerate, very approachable, very demure. See how I come to work? Very demure. I don't wear too much makeup. I don't come showing up with.
That's the kind of thing. This whole demure thing is it's like, and that's the best way I can put it. Is it's like Gene Kelly and Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers did everything Gene Kelly did, but she did it going backwards in heels. Women are badasses. Women are badasses. That's what that whole demure thing means. They are beautiful, they are smart, and fierce. And that's why this right-winger, Fred Astaire, I'm sorry, I said, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, I'm sorry. My bad, thanks for correcting me. Fred and Ginger. Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire did, going backwards in heels. Exactly, a great example of what they're talking about. Ann Richards, perfect example of what they're talking about. Class act and kicked ass. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. And that's why right-wingers can't understand. They're always looking for the boogeyman. Oh, demure is some secret code for after the election. They're going to just not be nice anymore, and they're going to make you put up with all this feminism and woman crap. No. They're going to make you put up with it right damn now, because we ain't going back. We ain't going back. That's what brat means. That's what demure means, folks. And they're so clueless, they can't get it. This is why I'm saying you're going to kick their ass. You're going to clean their clock this election if you just keep your foot on the gas. Fox News came out with polls, and I did a video about it that showed everything I've been telling you, what the internal polls, what people that I talked to in the campaigns are telling me. I told you this last week. This is what the polling is. Fox News just came out with that poll, and they showed Kamala Harris is kicking Trump's ass in Pennsylvania. She's kicking his ass. They're dead heat in Arizona. She's kicking his ass in Georgia. She's within the margin of error of North Carolina and moving the right direction. Just battleground. Florida is a dead heat now. It's no longer margin of error. It is dead heat in Florida. but it doesn't happen. I said, no, this isn't a good thing that Fox is showing this. You know why? Because some of you folks are going to look at that and you're going to take your foot off the gas. Cannot do that, folks. We got to run like we're 10 points down and our lives depend on it, because it does. It does. We cannot quit. 65 more days. We can do this. 65 more days of dealing with their border bullshit. 65 more days of whatever scandals they've got coming out. And I'm telling you, I should have had it for you this show. I'll have it for you next show. The audio that's leaking on JD Vance, and it's not even October yet. Oh my God. Imagine the stuff that's going to come out on JD Vance in October. Just the guns have trained on their target. You know, I made the analogy of the Harris campaign, you know, being like a battleship. They hadn't even trained their guns on their target yet. The guns are on the target and they're about to open fire. It's about to get real, folks. It's about to get real. Keep your excitement up. Keep your momentum up. Keep your eye on the prize. I want you to think about this last Christmas with President Biden. I want you to think about what it's going to be like when we're invited into Kamala Harris's home for the holidays. Doug Emhoff is a great guy. He really is. He is just as sweet and goofy as what you've seen. I have spent time with the man. I'm telling you. I was taken aback that this is really who he is. He's a hugger like I am. He is. I'm telling you. This is going to be great. Eyes on the prize. Eyes on the prize. But don't let up. Volunteer. Check your registrations. Check your registrations yesterday so that tomorrow you can help someone else get registered and get someone else to the polls. Keep talking to people. Let's do this. Let's do this. That's what I've got for today. Yeah, I have actually I got to spend time when we went we got invited to the White House, and they had a little soiree for us. I got to sit back and throw back beers with Doug Emhoff and just talk. And it was great. It was amazing. I have a very embarrassing story to tell you about Ronald Klain. Ronald Klain has been one of my political heroes my entire life. And I just got to tell you, I just made an ass of myself right in front of Ronald Klain. But that's a story for another day. This is what I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful. Keep your foot on the gas. I love you people. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.